Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to show off my Jarl Vertrady list. This isn't meant to be like this all-encompassing deck tech, kind of give you like every single card and like kind of go from like a holistic perspective, but more just kind of give you a starting point. Maybe some cards that I've found that are fun, some cards I found that work, and why I enjoy playing this hero, because I'm definitely going to pick it up tomorrow when it comes out. Or as you're watching it today as it's coming out, and have some fun with the hero. So we'll get right into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. We'll get right into it. We'll have some fun. So I'm going to pull it up here. Jarl Vertrady, for anyone that's not aware, says whenever you play an ice card, create a frostbite token in an opponent's exposed head, chest, arms, or leg zone. So just the thematics of this hero and the lore behind it and all this other stuff is really cool. I highly encourage you to check it out. LSS has done some awesome stuff with it. But when I saw this hero, I mean, it's just like, frankly, too badass not to try out and have some fun. I'm not typically a Guardian player. I do own a decent amount of the cards just because of Victor. And this hero is really interesting because it has essence of earth and ice. So you can kind of take this hero a bunch of different ways. You can run like a mixed package with a lot of disruption, with like Felling of the Crown, Plow Under, right, Rootbound Carapace. You could go like full ice with the exception of like a couple earth cards for your Oakenolds and for some other synergies, which is kind of what I've done. Or you can run this like super fatiguey like CYB, which is not where I wanted to go with it. But the cool thing about this Guardian specifically is it seems like there's like an aggro variant, a mid-range disruptive variant, and like a fatigue variant. So overall, again, this isn't like an all-comprehensive deck tech guide. Definitely go check out the card guys. I forgot his name off the top of my head. I'm going to hurt myself for later. But he did a really cool... in general, them and Taylor and all of them did a really cool job of like showing each card and why they should or should not play it. This is kind of what I went with. So when I originally started playing the hero, I think I've put like, I'm going to guess, I mean, it's just Talishar games, but I put in like 30-some Talishar games since they've coded everything, 30, 40 games, and I've kind of like gotten to this spot. Originally, I was starting with cards, this is in my maybe board, like Felling of the Crown and Rootbound Carapace, and running blues like Summer's Fall and So Tomorrow, and really trying to like make a mix of that disruption. And I still think you can do that. I don't think that's wrong. I just was finding that Felling of the Crown wasn't triggering a lot. Like, it really wasn't. And it felt really crappy. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the way I was playing it. But if I were to run this card again, I'd probably run it at like a 1 or a 2 of. I wouldn't run it at a 3 of, because when it's not turned on, it really sucks. Like when you can't decompose, and you kind of got to get rid of these earth blues really quickly in order to be able to turn that on. And when you also combine that with Rootbound Carapace, sometimes you don't want to decompose with Carapace because you are running a limited amount of earth, so you want to save your decompose in order to get the Felling of the Crown trigger. Just really weird. So I didn't end up liking it. Other cards I tried out, Cornet Peak's also extremely good. I ended up going Crown Providence just because a lot of times on your one card blue plays, you are trying to like play out these zero cost auras like Channel Mount Eisen and Crumble to Eternity. Or if you have a 2-card blue play, you're trying to play like Channel Lake Frigid or Frozen to Death. It's just there's not a ton of times where you're not, other than like early game not playing Channel Mount Eisen, there's not a ton of 1-card blue plays where I don't want to either arsenal the blue for a really good pivot turn or just play out the blue. So it's a little bit hard to make Cornet Peak justified. It is really nice in certain situations, but that's one with Crown of Providence. And then a couple of other ones that I'm looking at. Snow Under is another one I've been really cool, really excited about. And then some of the good 8-power blues like Cranial Crush and Disable and So Tomorrow. If you're running the Earth package with Felling of the Crown, I think So Tomorrow's a really good inclusion as well. And then Stamp Authority for Ira, just for fun. But regardless, here's the list. When it comes to the equipment, I ended up going with Tunic. I am on a pummel list, so Tunic's just naturally going to fit my curve better. It also has good curve with Mangle. It has really good curve in the sideboard when we switch to Sledge, which we do a lot, and so on and so forth. So it's really nice for that. At the headpiece, Crown of Providence. The arms, the gauntlets, these are so awesome. I love using these cards. First off, just the thematics of it are sick. Being able to block with it one time before it goes away is really nice. If an Earth card's pitched this way, your Mangle gets +2. If an ice card is pitched this way, your attacks with Mangle get dominate. It's really nice when you play a card like Crumble to Eternity, put a -1 counter on one of their equipment, It pops the next turn, giving your attack dominate, and you draw into a mangle right after you play Crumble Eternity. And then all of a sudden you're pitching, you hold a 3-card hand, you block with a little bit, maybe some armor, and then you pitch an Earth card to give your mangle +2, and then your mangle already has dominate from Crumble to Eternity, so you have a 10 dominate mangle that's going to kill the card, the equipment piece potentially that you just gave a -1 counter with Crumble to Eternity, which is super nice against especially a lot of decks that have like 2-block pivotal equipment like Azalea and Riptide with New Horizon, or Mask of Momentum or Traverse, stuff like that is really, really nice. So I really like that synergy. Arm Piece is really good, and it's really good for closing out games. Being able to dominate a mangle and bring it and just win the game off that is really nice. The legs piece for me has been like the most contentious. Civic Steps is still really good. I just don't like giving my opponent Quicken Token. The boots that prevent 2 if you have 4 Earth cards and banish. If you're running a Felon of the Crown package, you could think about running those. I still think Rootbound Trunks is the best. I mean, this essentially, you have a lot of auras in your deck, and like Channel Lake Frigid, Channel Mount Eisen, Crumble to Eternity, or that's an action, sorry. But you have 6 auras here, which is really nice. If you're running Insidious Chill, that's another aura that you can use if you need to. And it allows you to just block a little bit more efficiently. Those become 4 blocks when you block it with this. So it's basically, with your equipment, like a 1-card 5 block, which is really nice. And it also, if they're going wide, it'll allow you to block with multiple auras, similar to Barskin, where you can just have a really efficient blocking turn. Then we're running Stalagmite. I actually don't own this card yet. I need to get it. I'll probably just borrow it off a buddy, and if I ever took Jarl to a competitive event, then I'd probably get it. You don't need this card to play Jarl, but the card is extremely, extremely powerful. But if you don't have it, don't sweat it. Run a good... I mean, you can either just run Sledge or a Nothos and not even run a shield, or you can run just a normal shield. It's totally fine. When it comes to the Hammer Summit, I don't think the card's consistent enough. You have to basically get rid of your shield first, to turn it on to get the +2, which makes it still not on rate. Sledge is a 4-cost 6. A Nothos essentially is not a 6-card 6 or a 6-cost 6. Like Summit being a 6-cost 6 power is really, really crappy, in my opinion. I don't like it. I tried it. Trust me, I tried it. I want to play the card. It's so much fun. But Titan's Fist is just more consistent. So I have these when I want to slow a go-wide opponent down, and then I will side in Sledge into more mid-rangey matchups, and so on and so forth. So that's the main equipment. And then a sideboard for equipment, we have AB3, because I respect Acilio and Kano around these parts where I am in Virginia. And we have Barskin for, like, I just run for the block value. You could run, because you're never going to get the text, at least with my build. You could run this if you have a Felon of the Crown package, obviously, or a Decomposed package in general. You also could run any of the 2 blocks. You could run Tectonic Plating. You could even run Earthlore Bounty if you just have a cheaper version and you just want the block. So I have it in for Azalea, for the Guardian Mirror, stuff like that. It all depends. So that's where I'm at with this. And then when it comes to the main board, what I've settled on that I'm enjoying is just like really efficient attacks, using Pummel to take tempo, and then using your ice cards in the late game to really hurt your opponent. So we have all the good stuff that you see in a lot of Guardian lists, and Lightning Strike, Command and Conquer, Spinal Crush. We are running Frostfangs. I like this card. This card late game puts your opponent in such a crappy spot, because if you can open up an equipment zone, you play this card, you already gave them a Frostbite. Before anything happens, they are already taxed on their next turn. And if they choose to not block this, then they have to basically discard a card, or like get rid of a card from their hand. So I'm telling you that if you don't interact with me, I gave you a Frostbite and I force a card out of your hand. That's like Icelander level, like disruption. So I'm really enjoying this card. It's a pummel target as well, which makes it even better. And against like decks that can't, maybe they've used their equipment and they can't like just chop block this as easy. You're basically telling your opponent, give me 2 cards and I gave you a Frostbite, or you're telling your opponent, give me 1 card and then you have a Frostbite next turn. It just really helps you take tempo in the mid to late game. I'm really enjoying the card. Obviously, we're running Mangle. You could look at running Buckling Blow and Buckle in the list as well. It wasn't as consistent for me. Oakenold card's ridiculous. It definitely is a little bit more, not harder. It is harder per se to get off, in my opinion, than it was in Oldheim, because Oldheim blocked so efficiently. It was a lot easier to arsenal this in Oldheim and then really play for that 3-card hand that you need with the dual fuse. But having the extra playset of dual fuse cards with Crumble to Eternity makes it a little bit easier, which is really nice. We are running Pummel. If I'm playing a Guardian, I'm running Pummel, but I understand why some people don't run it. Spinal Crush. It's just a good tempo taker against like some of the decks that want to go wide, like Aurora and Zen and stuff like that. Like forcing them to give you 2 cards can help buy you enough tempo to then swing the game in your favor. Unforgiving. This is just a good 4-block that has extra text if you need it. Sometimes you don't even need to banish the Mangle. It's just nice to have that 4-block. To get basically like a pseudo defense reaction. You're always wanting to block with this, and then if they have that -1 counter, basically potentially getting your opponent to get rid of a piece of equipment, especially if you already have an ice card in your hand, is really nice, because if you block with this, you banish the Mangle because they already have a -1 counter on something. You pitch an ice card to give your Mangle dominate, and then you play the Mangle for 8 dominate. Unless it's early game and they have all their equipment or they have a couple D reacts. It gets really easy to burst their equipment down. Then we're running 36 blues in the main, which is actually a lot of blues. I was down to like 30. We're running Autumn's Touch, just good synergy for Oakenold and for the arms, and it's a 3-block earth. Like, it does literally everything we want it to do. Channel Lake Frigid, Channel Mount Eisen, all these are pretty standard. I am running 1 exposed to the elements. This is in the Jarl deck. The stock Jarl deck, I think it's really good. I definitely would run 1 of it. I don't know if I'd run more than 1, but because you just want to kind of catch your opponent off guard. Otherwise, it's a little bit weird of a card. And then we have Fruits of the Forest. Again, another good earth to help fuse with Oakenold and with our arms. But also, sometimes you only have 1 action point as a Guardian, and this allows you to get that little bit more value, right? Like you fuse an Oakenold with this, and then you discard this to gain 2 life, right? Just to get that little extra value on those turns where you don't want to arsenal this, right? And you can't quite pitch it and use it like you want to. Really, really good for that. Glacial Footsteps is just a good game ender against decks like Florian and Verdance or anybody that's like being a little bit more defensive and trying to trade with me. This card's really good for that. I was thinking about running the Reds, but I don't think we're quite needing to be there yet. So Imposing Visage is really, really sick. This card's really good because it allows you to just pay 3 or pay 0, which you're paying 1 blue, right? In order to go get one of your auras. If you want to get an aura like Frozen to Death, you got to pay 2 blues into it. But regardless, it allows you to go get one of your auras quickly that you really need. Channel Lake Frigid is also another option. And what I like about this is it just lets you speed up your game plan. What it doesn't do, though, you have to remember, is it doesn't trigger Jarl because you're not playing these cards. They're just coming into the arena. So don't give your opponent a Frostbite if you play an Imposing Visage. We have a 1 of Insidious Chill. Getting this out in the early game, super nice, because when you play Oakenold, you fuse, you just take insane tempo because you're going to force a card out of their hand initially, and then if they can't block out Oakenold, which 9 times out of 10 they can't on a 9 dominate, then you force 2 more cards. And the thing about this hero is early game, some people might be willing to be like, okay, I want to block with all my armor because I don't want to get hit with Oakenold. They might block with 1 card from hand and then all their armor. Well, now all their armor has a -1 counter, and now you're Mangle, and you can just hyperspeed like those Frostbites, so it's super nice. We are running Portal Blast. This card is just super nice playing from Arsenal, giving something dominate, giving our Mangles dominate, giving even our Frostfang dominate is nice because I want to make them block with their equipment, and if I can do that, the faster I can do that, the better. So Polar Blast is really good. Pulse Eisenloft is really funny. Giving someone a Frostbite on their turn is hilarious when they have an open equipment slot. I had this happen actually against an Azalea. They played a Bolton Shot for 4 with nothing else. Snapdragon's up. I was like, okay, they have a Rain Razors. They play Rain Razors to give it go again. I play this, give them a Frostbite. They only had 1 card in hand. They had to overpitch for Codex and then hit me with something else. But this says Ice, Earth, and Elemental attack action cards have +1 block while defending this turn. So then I blocked with an Aura for 4 with my boots, made it block for 5, and I blocked out their 6 power arrow that they were coming. It was like a 0-cost drill shot, and I played this blocked with my boots and my aura, and it got basically +1 from the boots and +1 from Pulse of Eisenloft. It was hilarious. So really, really cool. Tear Asunder, card's good. I don't know. I play Guardian. I'm playing Tear Asunder. Like, Terras is a good card. And then Winter's Bite, really, really good there. In the sideboard right now, it's just kind of stock. I do have 1 Hypothermia. I don't think you need more than 1 right now. The only decks that, in my opinion, really care about this card, like, because Katsu used to hate this card, right? Anyone that runs Kodachis. When we get to the Hunted, this card might end up being a 3-of because you might have, like, Syndra's going to give things go again by giving them Draconic. So it'll be more useful. But right now, Viscerai and Dio are the 2 main targets for this card. It can be useful in Aurora sometimes if you're giving something go again, but she really doesn't do that. She makes lightning tokens. They already have go again. So, you know, I mean, or yeah, I guess it can't gain go again. So it works on Aurora too, but really this is just a Dio target more than anything. So it's only a 1-of right now. Blizzard's really good until all these aggro decks that want to go burr. And then we have Sink Below, obvious here. But yeah, this has been really nice. I've played a decent amount of games on it. This just gives you a starting point. I can, if you all are interested in me doing like a budget to full version video, let me know on like what things you should get first. The Jarl deck coming stock though, let's see if I can pull it up here. I think I can, is really good. And I don't think anyone should, you know, be in a rush to like get upgrades if you need to. It has some really good cards. Like I said, Buckling Blow was a card I was thinking about. Icy Encounter is really good. Earth Form is extremely good in this deck because you attack for 7 with this, and then, you know, if your opponent, no one ever wants to block this card because it really doesn't have an on hit other than letting me block better next turn. And so people don't normally block this out, and then all of a sudden your auras are blocking for 4, which a lot of your blues are auras, right? As you can see, it has a lot of the same cards I have in my deck. Emerging Avalanche is a really cool card to basically create a Frostbite token and then give something +1. Amulet of Ice is another good one. But yeah, the deck already has some strong cards in it initially, so definitely try it out. Don't be in a rush to have to upgrade it. But I'm super excited about it. And yeah. Let me know what you think. I'm normally not a Guardian player. I did enjoy Victor a little bit. I'm really enjoying Jarl. It's a super fun deck. As you can name, I named it Lisana Gaib. I don't know. It just, the name reminded me of like Dune for some reason. So anyway, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below. If you're a Guardian player and you have some opinions, let me know. I'm not inherently a Guardian player, so I just enjoy playing this hero specifically. So would love any feedback possible. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this. If you have any feedback for me, definitely let me know. Definitely go check out some other creators. They're making some good stuff. The Car Guys made some awesome stuff on Jarl, so definitely go check their stuff out. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank you all so much.